Hello, guys. I hope you can hear me. Can you please just confirm if you do? Send me a text. Okay, great. So let's go with your questions, please. Excellent. Okay, still waiting for your questions. Okay, the first one I'm going to answer is the question regarding carbs. And that is, do carb refeed for prep increases you get leaner or decrease? Well, carb refeed is a very relative. It depends on many factors, and obviously, if you eat enough protein, then you will always be protein and fat. Obviously, you will always be having enough glycogen. So it's not necessary as many people think, but it's individual. You have to be very careful about how much carbs do you need and how much to refeed. Usually people overdo it and then they have that spillover. One of the ways to make sure that you're doing right carb refeed or loading is to use keto stick and check how much you're in ketosis. So if you're not in ketosis, obviously you're still burning carbohydrates. So if you have extra carbohydrates, that means that you will obviously be putting on fat rather than replacing glycogen. But as I said, it's very individual, regardless of how lean you are, or if you're not, it doesn't make any difference. What smaller muscle groups may require less recovery? So why do you think that smaller muscle groups will require less recovery? Smaller muscle groups, like for example arms and shoulders, they are involved in exercises for every major muscle groups, so they are always active. They still need one week to recover as major muscle groups. So I don't really think that there should be more recovery for any muscle group. No muscle group needs more days off than any other. So if you do everything right, you will just need 1 week off for every muscle group. And then another question is from New Jersey. I am excited to start working one body part per week starting today. After watching your videos, I'm stopping with the working parts 2 times a week. Well, if you can if you can work every muscle group twice per week, obviously you're not training enough. You don't have enough volume, you don't have enough intensity, you're not really hitting that muscle enough. So clearly you can train twice per week, or maybe 3 times per week, or maybe every day. So if I train, for example, chest on Monday, there is no way I can train them again during the same week, because I simply cannot perform anything for chest, not to mention legs or anything else. So every muscle requires, and I explained it in many videos, requires 7 days to recover. It's not just the muscle, but it's the whole unit. It's not just muscle tissue, but it's also connective tissue. It's also your central nervous system. So it's not necessary that it has to be once a week. It can be once in 8 days. It can be once in 6 days. It can be once in 9 days, depending on individual. But you have to give your body enough time to recover all the tissues involved in that particular unit. So when we're talking legs, you're not just recovering your legs, you're recovering your ligaments, cruciate, collateral, patellar ligament, hip ligaments, etc., tendons as well. So you need all of them to recover before you hit them again. And this is why training once every muscle, roughly once per week, has been shown that gives the best results. And this is why even professional bodybuilders, either enhanced or natural, doesn't matter, still everybody is doing once per week. This is non-debatable anymore. There are some people who can train, and they did train twice per week. They're very rare, but still there are some, either people who have an extremely well recovery system or people who are taking a lot of endogenous compounds, so they can recover much faster than others. But in general, for most of the people, training every muscle once per week is absolutely a fantastic choice. There is another one. Should I be worried about 5-gram carbs present in the cottage cheese in the morning? Also, can I have a tomato with my eggs? Well, you don't have to worry about 5 grams of carbs at all. When I talk about the best diets, I'm talking about diets which are actually low in carbs. It doesn't mean that they have to be zero carbs. I'm not necessarily very drastic when it comes to choice of food and obviously macros. I'm not one of those who says, "Oh, all you need to eat is eggs, only meat, nothing else." I eat eggs, meat, fish, chicken, because it gives me different amino acids from different sources of animal protein. Now, when it comes to carbs, yeah, there's nothing wrong to have 5, 10, 50 grams of carbs a day, 70, even 100, depending on the individual. So don't be worried if there is some carbs in your diet. There is nothing wrong with it. It's important that you keep your carbs low. And obviously the dominant macronutrient in your food has to be protein and also fat, because you need them both, not necessarily carbs. So anything under 50, 60 grams a day is fine on a regular basis. Occasionally you can have 100 grams of carbs a day. Most of the people don't need more than that, unless you're on exogenous compounds, especially insulin. Then you will have to have more carbs. And when you hear all these professional bodybuilders talking about having 4, 5, 600 grams of carbs or even 1,000 grams of carbs a day, they are implicitly suggesting they are on insulin, extra insulin, so which I never suggested. So don't worry about these 5 grams of carbs in cottage cheese. It doesn't matter really. Doctor, I get constipated when I eat low carbs. Do you have any suggestions? Well, most of people don't ever get constipated. I never had that issue. If you eat enough protein and enough fat, everything is going to be fine. You don't need carbs for that. You just need to adapt. Constipation is more related to your gut biome than to carbohydrate intake and also fiber intake. So your gut biome is more important. Just imagine evolution of Homo sapiens for over 500,000 years. Where were fibers and carbohydrates? So do you really think that humans were constipated during the evolution of 500,000 years? Not necessarily. So it's just a modern invention. And when you get hooked to fibers and you switch to a diet which is predominantly protein and fat, without carbs, without fibers, you may experience that change because you need time to adapt. Once you adapt, I had lots of clients with that issue, but once they have adapted, everything started functioning perfect. So maybe just take your time and make sure that you eat enough protein and fat. This is the key. How do you program dumbbells into chest and back training, for example, using combination of barbell bench press and dumbbell bench press into chest workout and back barbell rows and dumbbell rows? Well, you can have a fantastic chest workout without using a barbell at all. So you can do dumbbell chest press, you can do horizontal, decline, incline, dumbbell fly. So your whole session can be actually made simply from using dumbbells. You don't have to use barbells. There is your muscles, they don't know what are you using. Are you using dumbbells, barbells, machines? All they know there is a stimulus for growth, there is a load, stress. They need to fight for survival during that set, and this is the only thing that exists. So not necessarily barbells are better than dumbbells or other way around. You can use whatever you want, whatever you feel, whatever your body responds better to. I personally use dumbbells nowadays. I use barbell bench press most of the time during my competitive days. Now I'm using dumbbell press, horizontal press. I do using dumbbell incline press. When it comes to decline, I use mainly machines like hammer strength machines. I do dumbbell flies, but I also use back deck machines. I use cable crossover machines and similar. So doesn't really matter. For back, you can do bent over row. You can do with a barbell or dumbbells. You can do machine rows, cable rows. You can do one dumbbell row at a time, one arm dumbbell row. So it's entirely up to you. So feel free to experiment and obviously find out what works for you the best. So whatever you feel and you respond the best to, this is obviously the best answer for you, the best choice. What do you think about DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness? Are they good sign of good training? Not necessarily. Some people experience more soreness, delayed soreness after the workout. Some people experience less. Some people don't experience soreness at all. So not necessarily, simply because delayed muscle soreness is your immune response, is the response of your immune system to the stress that you have put on particular muscle. Some people respond much more. They are more sensitive, and their immunity is more sensitive to particular exercises, to particular stress, and therefore they respond more. But that doesn't mean that people who don't experience muscle soreness are not growing, are not having great results. I have clients who never experience muscle soreness, and they are amazing. They're in competing. I do experience muscle soreness, especially in my chest, back, legs, also not as much in shoulders, also arms, but not as much. But it's also all relative and individual. But it's definitely, it doesn't mean that if you don't experience muscle soreness, that your workout was not very good. Try to switch from triangle sets workout. I don't know what this means. What is triangle set? To do regular same reps. Again, you need a bit more precise with this. Small amount of carbs helps prevent insulin suppression. All right. Adam, thank you very much for your support and your super sticker. Thank you again. And Adam asked for the question. He says, my long head triceps have been sore for 6 days since shoulder tricep session. Should I only do push down tomorrow and no extensions? Well, I don't know why your long head triceps have been sore after you have done shoulders, because when you do shoulders, you should be stressing shoulders, not triceps. And for that reason, I think you should reconsider your shoulder workout. So you have done maybe shoulder press using more your shoulders rather than more your triceps rather than the shoulders. And this is also often the case when people train chest, but not properly using their shoulders and triceps. So you should be focusing more on the muscles that you're targeting. So try to do those shoulder exercises in a way that you stress shoulders more, not triceps, because triceps is just a collateral, the muscle that supports presses, but it's not the main muscle. So reconsider that. Maybe your grip is too close, so you are in engaging your triceps more than you should. So I would train triceps fully. I would do 3 movements for triceps. Push down with a bar, straight bar or EZ bar. For your outer head, I would do overhead extension, either French press or extension, cable extension overhead. And also I would do rope push down for medial head. This is what I advise for triceps every time. So 3 heads, 3 exercises. Gringo Brandino, thank you very much again for your support as well, for your super sticker. And you have asked training again for first time in 10 years after head-on car wreck. Which ebooks of yours should begin with? Should I begin with to help me build my training nutrition plan? Well, there are different ebooks that I've written on different subjects. The one that I always advise is something that should have been called Bodybuilding Bible, and this is weight training. This book, it took me 2 years to write the book, and I write everything in that book, everything that you can always ask about bodybuilding. So it's on over 400 pages with illustration of all exercises, best exercises for every muscle group, and also I talk about training programs, different splits, number of sets, number of reps. I talk about nutrition, and talk about anatomy, talk about physiology. Really put a lot into that book. So weight training may be the best one. When it comes to nutrition, obviously The Ultimate Nutrition is the book that I've sold all the hard copies within 6 months when the book came out. So now they're all as ebooks. There are some hard copies, only few, which are like collector's items. But the Ultimate Nutrition is a general book on nutrition. I think everybody should be having that book. It's again almost like nutrition Bible, but more practical, more concrete book for bodybuilding is something that you may consider, and is also called Feed the Muscle, Not the Fat. So I think these 3 books should be your first choice. So the next question, I'm totally wiped out after finishing quads and hamstrings on the leg day, so I never make it to glutes. Should I split the workout? Well, if you did your hamstrings and quads workout as I advise, then you must have included your glutes as well. The best exercises for glutes are, first of all, squats, then leg press, and then lunges, and nothing else. All these modern exercises, hip thrusts or whatever else people are doing for glutes, they're not as impactful as squats, leg press, and lunges. I mean, just look at all the professional bodybuilders. Nobody ever did those exercises, those new ones. We all did squats, we all did leg press, and we all did lunges, and everybody had great glutes as well. So there is no need to do anything extra if you do everything right, especially as I suggest. Now, if you find doing quads and hamstrings together, if you find it too much, you can split that. Sometimes I do that. Let's say, I always do calves and quads together. I start with calves. I do 2 exercises for calves, and I do 3, sometimes 4 exercises for quads. And then I feel completely done. So sometimes I split hamstrings and I train them, for example, with shoulders. So on my Friday workout, I do shoulders and hamstrings. Then I do 2 to 3 movements for hamstrings. I always do 1 curl movement, let's say lying down leg curls. And after that, I do straight legs deadlift. And sometimes I do 3 movements for hamstrings: lying down leg curls, seated leg curls, and then straight legs deadlift. Now, when it comes to training split and training exercises, I have very good news for all of you. And this is something that hasn't been done so far for whatever reason. I don't know. Nobody have ever done it. So I decided to do the course Bodybuilding Blueprint course, in which I talk about most effective exercises for all muscle groups. So that course will be made out of 8 videos. 6 of them will be directly related to 6 muscle groups. So one video for every muscle group, breaking it down to detail, every exercise that matters, the most effective exercises for every muscle group. So, for example, the video on chest, in video on chest, I will explain which exercises are the most effective and how to perform them. So 6 videos for 6 muscle groups, and I will explain most effective exercises that I have done, all my clients have done, and also most of the advanced professional bodybuilders, whoever they were. There is going to be also one video on training splits and training techniques, and one video on nutrition. So they're altogether going to be 8 videos. So I will promote that course soon, and whoever is interested, there will be an amazing opportunity to have basically all this information in one place. So once you have this course, you will never need a personal trainer anymore. It's going to save you money for the rest of your life, because you will be able to see every exercise which matters, most important, most effective exercise for every muscle group, and then how to perform. And I think that will help many people, because although I have most of the exercises already shown on my YouTube channel, I decided to put this all together in one project, which is going to be a bodybuilding course, and that will help you to actually access every single exercise every time you are in the gym. Now, another question I have. I came down from 310 to 237 pounds. Now I'm back to 270 after weight training 3 days a week and cardio Tuesday and Thursday. Do you have a program that can help me get back down to 230s? Well, I don't have a program, but I can do the program for you, as I do personalized training programs. So if you go on my website, nashfittraining.com, you can see different services that I do. And if you choose personalized training program, then you can order that. And I will ask you to send me 2 or 3 photos of yourself, also your current training program, your health status, also possible injuries. And then once I get that from you, I will create exactly training program that I believe you should follow. So 3 times per week is not enough. Cardio, I don't know what you're doing regarding cardio, but if you do traditional cardio, you're just wasting your time, possibly just making yourself fat. But there is much more to it. So if you want a personalized training program, then just get in touch. Go on my website and choose that as a product. Let me see another question. I never feel my lats. How to engage my lats more? They never feel sore. I feel other muscles and more dominant: biceps, triceps, major, etc. Teres major. Well, if you don't feel your lats, then you're not using your lats. So you need to reconsider your workouts. You need to follow exactly my advice on training back. This is the reason why you're not feeling them, because you're not probably using them. So most of the time, most people actually train their arms, shoulders and arms, biceps, brachialis, brachioradialis, and they don't really engage latissimus or teres major, teres minor. Now, again, watch my videos, find videos on back. I have few, and you can get advice, or actually wait for the course to come out, and you can then get into very much in detail about every exercise for every muscle group, including back. Okay, let me see another one. How about carbs? Regards, if you hit less than 250 grams of protein and 100 grams of fat in 24 and still feel hungry after previous leg day, should I increase carb per day? Well, if you feel hungry by eating 250 grams of protein and 100 grams of fat, obviously this is not enough. Maybe you need 350 grams of protein and maybe you need 200 grams of fat. So again, carbs are very addictive, very attractive, and most of the time when people don't eat enough protein and enough fat, they think they need more carbs immediately because they want them. It's simply because they're nice, very tasty to eat, and pleasurable. Also, they spike a lot of dopamine in you, so you're feeling great. But no, you don't need them at all. Physiologically, you don't need carbs at all. You just need protein and fat. Now, if you want to eat some carbs, I mean, it's your, we live in the free countries, most of us. Eat them, no problem. But there is no physiological necessity for carbs at all. You will have all your glycogen from protein and also from fat, meaning glycerol, which is the backbone of three fatty acids, triglycerides. And glycerol is always recycled into glycogen. So nature had taken care of glycogen without carbs, but you can eat them. If you feel you need them after the leg day or during the leg day, have them. Have 100 grams, 200, whatever, depending on what you want to achieve. If you want to stay lean and be muscular, then you have to be very, very careful about carbs. I'm 70 years old. How should I adjust your 4-day split relative to my age? Number of sets, recovery. Well, regardless of your age, you should do whatever you can do. I've given advice on 4-day split, 5-day split, 3-day split, and you should simply do whatever you can. So if you can do 4 exercises, 4 sets each, that'll be great. If you can do 3, that's good as well. If you can do more than that, give it a go, but do what you can. Don't do something that you just think it should be because you're 70 years of age. Nobody can ever tell you that. You should simply do whatever you can. So if you can do 25 sets for back or legs, fine, do it. Who is going to say that this is not good for you because you're 70? So there is nobody in this world who can tell you exactly how many sets and reps to do because of your age. Again, do as much as you can. Because you will never be able to do more than you can. That's the logic behind. You will never. I cannot fly. You cannot do 100 sets. I cannot do 100 sets. Why? Because I cannot. So what if I can do 30 sets? Oh, don't do that because of this system. He said this. He said that. Really? But there are people who did 40 sets and they looked amazing. Why did they do it? Because they could. So answer is always within you. All right. The whole world, the whole knowledge is great to hear, but you are the one sitting in the driving seat. So you are in charge of your life. You are the one who is going to pull the trigger. So listen to your body. This is the mastery of life. You listen to yourself and you find out what works for you. And if you get better, if you lose body fat, if you put some muscle, obviously you're doing right. If you get fat, if you're fat and you're not putting any muscle, then your training system is not good enough. Your diet is not good enough. And that's it. It's very simple. You have to be objective and you have to listen to your body. How do I turn my body fat into muscle? Well, this is impossible. Body fat is body fat, muscle is muscle. I mean, there is no magic in turning body fat into a muscle, simply because physiologically this is impossible. You can't turn water into coffee or coffee into tea. So the only way you can do is to force your body to use that fat as energy to break down triglycerides, which is actually your body fat, into fatty acids and and glycerol, and then recycle them or use them for either energy or creating glycogen. And there is no way that fat can build muscle. You need protein to build muscle. So I think I just answered your question. How to prevent get dizzy when doing legs, deadlifts, leg press, etc. So I don't know why you're getting dizzy. Maybe you have some condition or whatever other reasons. And I don't know about deadlift because I don't do that. This is exercise that is not a bodybuilding exercise. I don't know why you're doing it. But you may have other some condition. Maybe you're not eating enough. There may be different reasons why you're getting dizzy. I never got dizzy. My clients never get dizzy, so I can't answer that. Greetings from Serbia. Thank you. The same to you. Again, do dumbbell rows cause thick waist from indirect oblique training? No, dumbbell rows have nothing to do with your obliques. Your obliques are mainly used when you do deadlift, if you do deadlift, because you're stressing the whole body and also the trunk, the midsection because of the nature of the movement. So if you want to have big obliques, wide, big waist as powerlifters have, then do deadlift, no problem. You will get it for sure. Also, I avoid any exercise that involves obliques. I never did direct exercises for obliques, as many people do. I don't know why they're doing it, because they will grow. So no dumbbell row, no exercise that I advise ever includes and triggers growth of obliques. How much water do you drink, and what is the importance of electrolytes? Well, I think I drink anywhere from 2 to 3 liters of water a day. My water is always with electrolytes. Good you ask. You can see this. This is water with electrolytes, because this is the best way to hydrate your body. If you just drink plain water, clean water, then that water will most likely just run through your body and end up wiping electrolytes from your body, because you drink water, but your urine is not water. So there are a lot of minerals in that urine, and it's a very simple logic. If you put a bit of salt in your water, or magnesium, or simply some mixture of electrolytes in form of supplement, then you will be really hydrating your body, because muscle cells, they need more than just water. They need electrolytes. They need especially sodium, which is the most important electrolyte in the body. They need magnesium. They need potassium. Only as such water can enter muscle cells and hydrate you, because we always say human body is made of 70% of water. Really? And where is that water? We don't have any water in our body. We have blood, we have lymph, but we don't have any water. So I think the answer is in this explanation. If gluconeogenesis gives you the same amount of glycogen, no matter how much protein one eats, then how do people say Serge Nubre was extra pumped and full because of the absurd amount of meat he ate? I think I just answered that question earlier on. With gluconeogenesis, you will never replace 100% of glycogen, right? Because you never need 100% of glycogen. For what? So your body will replace as much glycogen as needed for your perfect training session. I trained arms on Saturday, biceps and triceps, and my arms simply doubled, exploded, veins in my biceps, triceps, and you will see what I do and how I do it in my new bodybuilding blueprint course in which I explain every exercise. I just finished filming a couple of weeks ago. So you will see me training there, and you see how my arms look now when I don't eat any carbs. I eat protein and fat. And I explain why, because gluconeogenesis will replace enough glycogen, and your pump doesn't come just because of glycogen. Pump comes because you rush the blood in the area, and that blood is full of nutrients as well. So longer that blood stays in the area, longer the nutrients in the blood will be feeding the muscle. So more reps, more sets, and the muscle will obviously be overwhelmed with blood. Why? Because muscle cells, they need oxygen to perform, and oxygen can only be distributed by blood. And this is why when you exercise, your muscles get pumped. So it's nothing to do with carbohydrates. It's nothing to do with 100% replacement of glycogen. It's just to do with the right amount of glycogen, which is never probably 100%, because you never need 100%. You will never use 100% of glycogen in your workout. You will never empty the muscle 100%. You see, these are all fables which people are talking, people who don't understand physiology, and obviously they're trying to push some some new training system or some products or something. But people try everything, but all roads lead to Rome. Sooner or later, every single one of you will do exactly what I'm saying, sooner or later. Because when you try all these and other alternative exotic training systems, Mike Mentzer, heavy duty, one set per exercise, you will hit the wall very quickly. You probably get injured as well in the process. And then you will remember what I said, and you come back to higher number of reps, higher number of sets, perfect form. You will trace mechanical tension, time under tension, and then you will start growing, as so many people have experienced. And you can read comments to my videos, and you can see that people are saying, since I started following your advice, I've put on muscle, I lose body fat, I'm completely different within 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. It's just overwhelming. And I'm really grateful that people are sending back their comments and their experience, because this is the best proof that what I'm telling you is simply working, because I'm telling you what I have done, what made me me, and what made all my clients progress in last 40 years. There is no magic involved, no supplements, no this, no that. The basics of every change, regardless of you're enhanced or natural, is number one, training, because muscle requires stimulus to grow. And number two is abundance of protein and fat in your diet. And that's it. Now, if you know how to train, fine. If you don't, you will be wasting your time. If you understand what training split is, fine. If you don't, you will be wasting your time. If you're training with right intensity, as I explained in the video that I've done on particular video that I've done on my channel, fine, you will grow. If not, you'll be wasting your time. If you understand right nutrition, you will grow. Otherwise, you'll be wasting your time. And I hope you're not going to be another one of so many people who are actually looking the same after 5, 10, 15, 20 years of training. They never changed. I'm training Kung Fu, and I got 2 days free for weight training, Monday and Friday. I need more muscle. How can I do split? Well, you need to choose. You're either going to be a marathon runner or a sprinter. You cannot be both. 2 days per week, that's not enough. I cannot tell you a lie. You need 4 days per week. But if you want to be a Kung Fu master, then stick to Kung Fu. Maybe do some press ups, do some crunches as Bruce Lee did. You can get nice body doing just calisthenics, but to grow muscle as bodybuilders do 2 days per week is not enough. Oh, there is some question about Nietzsche, so I don't know how many of you want to hear this, but let me answer this. Which book by Nietzsche do you consider his best? Also, could you explain Nietzsche and how to change the way we think about morality and why he is the greatest prophet of the modern world? Well, Nietzsche was the subject of my PhD dissertation. The answer would take probably a few hours. Which book is the best is the same as asking somebody who has 5 children, which child do you love most? And this is what you're asking me. I read all his books. They're all amazing. They're all great. But if you want to read Nietzsche and understand Nietzsche, you should start from the beginning. As every journey starts with this first step. So start with his first book. And this is The Birth of Tragedy. This is like introduction to whole of his later philosophy. And also you can check my PhD dissertation on academia.edu, sorry. There is, you can read it for free. I also wrote many different papers there, so you can check them all. But the first one that you should read is The Birth of Tragedy. Then after that, you can read Gay Science. Then you can read Zarathustra, that came after Gay Science. Then obviously other books that came, Human, All Too Human, The Will to Power, and others. But start with the first one because it's very difficult to jump straight into his middle period and later period. But The Birth of Tragedy should be. But how do we change the way we think about morality? That's a massive question. I mean, we need a lecture on that. So you can also check my lectures. That there are many of them on Nietzsche, and all my lectures are on my philosophy website, which is called Philosophy Matters. So check that on YouTube. Can I eat sardines for dinner? Yes, of course you can. Sardines are an excellent source of protein, also minerals, iodine, and especially creatine. So 1 tin of sardines contains 3 to 4 grams of creatine, first-class creatine that you will never have as a supplement. So they're very good. You can eat them. I would eat 1 or 2 tins of sardines and maybe 3-4 eggs. That would be fantastic. I do this occasionally. I also eat quite often mackerel with eggs just on its own. So yeah, excellent choice. Stefano, thank you very much for your support, for your sticker. I really appreciate that. Everyone who has sent super stickers, super chats, thank you very much for that. You're supporting the channel that way, by the way, so you're very welcome. And Stefano asked, and he says, I'm eating 0 carbs 6 days a week. What do you think of 1 cheat meal per week, similar to steak and eggs diet, just to scratch the foodie itch? Thank you for sharing all your experience. So you're welcome, most welcome. Well, I don't have a cheat meal. I don't really need to have a cheat meal. If you eat 0 carbs 6 days per week, this is fine. I hope you eat enough protein and enough fat, especially eggs, red meat, chicken, fish. They are the best sources of protein and fat at the same time. What would that cheat meal be? Pizza or pasta or whatever, cakes or something? You see, there'll be just a massive influx of carbohydrates in your body, and you will spike the insulin through the roof, and you will stop fat burning process for days. Because once insulin goes up, the body starts adjusting itself crazy. It's unbelievable. You may stop fat burning mode because the body will switch to carbohydrate absorption mode, and instead of producing more glucagon, the body will start producing more insulin. So it's not just one meal. I don't know where it comes from. It just comes from the laziness and people who are spoiled, who see the biggest pleasure in life in eating. I think there are much bigger pleasures in life, and eating is simply necessity. I don't live to eat. I eat to live. And for that reason, I never have a junk or a crap meal, if you want. So I can't tell you it's okay, but because I'm not doing it. So if I'm not doing it, I cannot promote that. I hope you stay away from that. Eat enough of other food. I'm very happy with every meal that I eat because I eat when I'm hungry. So when I consume my meal, I'm extremely happy. I'm satisfied. I just feel fantastic. I don't eat because of the time. I don't eat because whatever else reasons. I just eat when I'm hungry, and I think everybody should. And every meal for me is a massive pleasure. If you don't enjoy your meals, then something is wrong. And if you need pasta or pizza or ice cream to be happy, then I don't have answer for that. Sorry, I'm wrong person to ask because I don't do it. Okay. Travoltino, thank you very much as well for your support. And you ask, I see your old video on importance of BCAAs. Are you still recommending this supplement? So BCAAs are the best supplement, as I like to say, maybe the best fake food you can have. So if you didn't have enough protein around your training session, if you are in a hurry, you can have BCAAs after your workout, because BCA, branched chain amino acids, are actually amino acids that we break down during the exercise. So if you replace them during the session or after the session, they may be helpful. You can also use essential amino acids. They will do the same thing. Or you can have a whey protein shake after your workout, which is full of essential amino acids and also branched chain amino, very high in BCAAs. So you have three different options. You either choose BCAAs, EAA, or you can take whey protein. Obviously, BCAAs will directly enter the bloodstream. They will be the most effective. But this is not something which will change the game, right? Your body will always find a way to rebuild the muscle that you have used, that you have basically broken down during the session. So the muscle will only grow if there is enough stimulus, if there is enough broken down muscle fibers, because otherwise muscle doesn't have to grow. And it grows through the process called supercompensation in physiology. So supercompensation means you have broken the muscle, the body will repair it, but will always rebuild it a little bit more, simply because it tries to protect that tissue. The best proof for that are blisters. You can see them there. So why are we having blisters? Because the body protects that area which we are using all the time, holding weights, holding bars, machines. So we cause friction there. So we damage the skin there. Because we have broken down the tissue, skin tissue, the body repairs that, but always put more. So these calluses, not blisters, sorry, calluses are built thanks to the process of supercompensation. So the same physiological process that actually builds muscles. And don't you worry, don't you psych yourself into, oh, I have to do this after 5 minutes, 10 minutes after a finished workout. You don't have to do it. You can do it, but you don't have to do it. When you do things because you want to do them is one thing. But when you do something because you have to do it, because of the wrong information, wrong belief, then you're trapped. Then you're going to be doing something which will stress you, create anxiety, make you psychotic, hysteric. And a lot of people in bodybuilding most of bodybuilders are actually hysteric when it comes to training, when it comes to supplements. They carry food with them. different supplements. They must have everything in particular minute, but it is just absolute nonsense because the body just doesn't work like that. I mean, golden era legends, they never had supplements. They didn't have BCAA. They didn't have creatine, glutamine, all this whey protein. God forbid. Imagine protein that they had was absolute crap. This is probably why most of them never used it, because it was very bad. So they ate food, and they ate 2-3 times per day. And look what they've done. So there is something else there. Obviously, it's training, to hit right training, as I mentioned, and to eat right food. You eat when you're hungry. Ask yourself, are you ever hungry after your workout? No, you're not, because your body is so busy doing very important things, right? Cleaning up liver, for example, cleaning lactic acid from the body. So if liver does something which is urgent, liver is not really happy to produce enzymes to digest food. So why would you eat after you work out? Why would you stuff yourself with anything? Wait and see. When you get hungry, then you should eat. Your body will beautifully tell you, I need food now, and then you eat. But what I see is what create fat people, fat bodybuilders, so-called off-season. Psychologically, they already split season into off-season and prep season. And you know why is that? Because they're lazy and they're spoiled. Because after the show, they start eating crap. They start eating junk food, pizza, pasta, cakes, chocolates, ice creams. And this is basically what they are. They are really pathetic, sad characters who do that to themselves. And then they get fat. And because they're fat, they say, oh, now, it's off season, it's okay. Absolutely not. It's not okay. Physiologically, it's a disaster. When you look at your insulin sensitivity, is a disaster. When you look at your hormonal state, is a disaster. You don't want to be fat, because that getting fat every year in the off season is going to take years out of your life eventually. So here we go. So let me see what else is there. Nash, does high protein, low carb diet affect liver health? Should I take some liver support supplements? Well, why would high protein, low carb affect liver health? Liver health is affected by processed food. Number one, sugar, obviously, everything which is processed, like flour, things like bread, pasta, rice, too much carbohydrates. This is what stresses liver. Also, seed oils, also hydrogenated oils, which you'll find in every processed food, every cake, every chocolate, every ice cream has hydrogenated fats. They are disaster for the liver. Also, things like overconsumption of alcohol, smoking. This is problem for the liver. But food will never be a problem, especially if it's natural food. If you're talking meat, eggs, fish, no need to take any supplements. Also, liver can be toxified a lot by oral steroids. They are very toxic for the liver. But when it comes to protein and fat and a reasonable amount of carbs, they will never affect liver. Train 2 days, as you told, fail ill for 2 days, but your 12 to 20 rep is really best, making me strong. Well, as I said, always you should start slowly and you should adapt to every training program. When I do training programs for my clients and for people all around the globe who choose my personalized training programs, I always says use this program as a guidance, as a structure. So this is your target, and you will try to get to that target. So that doesn't mean that the program that I have sent you is something that you should do immediately. Some people can, if they are fit, if they are advanced, but some people should take their time. So if I say, let's say, do 5 exercises for back, that doesn't mean 5 sets each. That's 25 sets. That doesn't mean that you should start with that. You start maybe with 3 sets, depending on your level, because I can't feel for you. So you start with 3 sets and then slowly try maybe 4, and then maybe come to 5, maybe do first 2 exercises 5, maybe next 2, 3 to 4 sets, maybe last exercise only 2 to 3 sets, and that's fine. And then slowly build your strength, your stamina, your endurance, your capacity to perform, and eventually you will get there. I didn't get there first time, and when I when I started training chest like Serge Nubre, I was in agony. I couldn't recover my chest for days, for a week and a half. Because why? Because I started doing more sets, and I did more reps. And for the first time, I actually involved my chest in my workout, and this is why I was so sore. Before that, I was doing less sets, less reps, wrong form, bench press, dips, mainly stimulating my shoulders, triceps, not necessarily chest. I was also sore, but I would recover. And then I started hitting chest exclusively, and the same thing happened. So yes, take your time. RIM wasn't built overnight. Programs that I give, they are your target, your ideal place, but it may take a bit of time to get there. And 12 to 20 reps for legs, yes. This is why most people who tried that came back and said exactly as you say. And simply just read the comments on the videos. This is why your legs start getting involved fully, because legs are very different muscle fibers, mixture of muscle fibers. Chest, arms, back, shoulders, they're different. They're predominantly white muscle fibers. Legs are a mixture. So if you want to engage all of those muscle fibers, you need higher number of reps. So when you start performing, for example, a set of 20 reps, first half of the set is not going to be white muscle fibers. It's going to be red muscle fibers. Maybe you will start using some muscle fibers, which are type 2A. And then as you approach the end of the set, you will start using white muscle fibers type 2B. And when you end that set of 20 reps, you have used all of them, most of those 3 different types of muscle fibers. And this is why you feel your legs. And then you do another set of you. And next day, you're going to experience soreness, most of you, and you will cause the growth of all those 3 different types of muscle fibers. So why would you do 10 reps, which will only include maybe 50% of your muscle fibers? What a nonsense again. So, but again, when people don't understand physiology, there's so many proclaimed gurus on internet talk, and you can compare what I'm telling you. You can check this and then listen to anybody, and then you will see where you're standing. Now you have an information. When you have information, you have power, and nobody is there to lie to you. I'm not talking to you. Anything that I say is not my training system. Is the best way to train the body. Why? Because I studied this. I studied it to the letter. For 40 plus years, I did it like that. And I tried, and it worked. And that's it. This is the only scientific experiment that I consider. I don't consider this pseudo-scientific experiments done on chosen groups in order to prove something, biased kind of experiment. And then you have some progress in 15 people who never been in the gym, who are completely relevant to bodybuilding world, and they have changed because they train every muscle 3 times per week. But they would change even if they do press-ups and squats without no weights every single day. So what is the result? What is the conclusion? Oh, you need to train every muscle 3 times per week. Again, nonsense. So be careful and be aware. Read, educate yourself, and also take my advice on board. This is not my advice. I didn't invent anything. I just put things together. I'm a doctor of philosophy. I learned my expertise is thinking. And once you have that expertise, once you have that thing that Aristotle called organon, right? Then you can think about anything. I think politics. I do lectures on politics. I do lectures on religion. I do lectures on bodybuilding, endocrinology, physiology, biomechanics. Why? Because I can think. And if you start thinking, then you will come to every conclusion, every single conclusion, regardless of the area you're interested. You have to be critical thinker, you have to be analytical thinker, and you have to be comprehensive thinker. Unfortunately, bodybuilding historically didn't have many people like that. And this is why you're getting what you're getting out there. Most of the time, nonsense because of a lack of knowledge. So, guys, good luck with that. But remember, we are all capable of thinking. I've never thought that I'm more intelligent than anybody else. I just wanted it more. And I did everything that I could have possibly done. And I'm still researching, I'm still reading new books, either that's science, politics, history, philosophy, because there is no end. And it's the most beautiful thing that you learn something new. This is why I wrote 12 books for you. Think why somebody write books to share the knowledge. To share the knowledge. This is not no other thing. Why Nietzsche wrote books for himself? Do I write books for myself to read what I know? I don't think anybody ever did. So books are there to share knowledge. Now the problem is that the world doesn't read anymore. Okay, I can give you advice, but my most honest advice will just be read, get sports physiology, read about muscle tissue. In my book Weight Training, I talk about muscle tissue. There is a chapter called Basic Anatomy. There is the chapter called Into the Muscle Tissue. Give me one book on bodybuilding in which anybody have written something like that. Even Arnold's encyclopedia is absolutely a joke. You will never learn anything from his encyclopedia. You will only learn what Arnold did, and that's it. And how that relates to you. It doesn't relate to you at all, because Arnold was one of those people who would say, if it worked for me, is it going to work for you? But he never explained why. Why he didn't explain why? Because he didn't know. And listen to him in his blueprint when he talks about things. He doesn't explain why you need to do 12 to 20 sets per legs. He just says, I did it, and it worked, and this and that, and then you follow. If you want to be a prophet, if you want to be a saint, or maybe a guru, fine. That means you trust me, right? Because I am who I am, but you never challenge me. I'm asking you to challenge me. Do the research, read, and then come back to me. And I know what is going to happen. You're going to find the same things that I'm talking to you. So, yeah, this is a little outside of the bodybuilding box of tools, but I think it's very important because all these questions that you're asking are actually extremely, extremely related to what I just have said. And, if I will tell you another story, and I think you will listen and you will remember this story. And this is what I'm trying to do with all of you and all my clients. There was a homeless. No, I'm not going to tell you this story. I'll tell you something else. I'll tell you something shorter. If you give a poor man fish every day, he will end up being a poor man with fish, not capable to take care of himself. But what is more important, that you teach that man how to catch a fish. If you succeed in teaching somebody how to catch a fish or how to help himself to perform better, to live better life, to be more experienced, in a positive sense, to be more successful, you have done an amazing job. And this is what I have been doing all my life. I try to teach everybody to be better self. And my book that is on my website, which is called Lifestyle Change, is the book that helps people to be better selves. So how to be better self? So if I can teach you how to catch fish, this is my goal. This is what will make me happy. When I see you one day catching fish yourself, then I can leave and go somewhere else and teach somebody else how to catch fish. Because now you're standing on your own legs. You're capable of taking care of yourself. Now, what I'm telling you is how to think for yourself. I'm just your vehicle. I'm helping you to come from point A to point B and nothing else. But you have to drive that car. Now, you're going to listen to me for an hour, hour and a half, or maybe watch a few of my videos. But these are just seconds in your life. But the message that you should get from me, and it will make me very happy, is that you take my advice and continue to dig further, continue to be curious, be critical, be analytical, be comprehensive. Always look at the whole picture. Bodybuilding is not beautiful because you're going to get bigger. Bodybuilding is beautiful because you're going to get better. To get bigger, proportionate, symmetrical is aesthetics. Aesthetics is part of philosophy. So when you achieve that result, not to be the biggest guy in the village, right? But to be something better, you will become better. Your character will be better. You will know more if you follow bodybuilding the way that I did and that I am promoting it. If you're more knowledgeable, if you read more, if you make success, if you share your success with others, if you start helping others as well. But the best way to help others is that you give them your example and you support your knowledge with facts. And this is it. There is nothing else in life. Either you do bodybuilding or you play a piano or you study philosophy or maybe medical science, doesn't matter. The principles are always the same. So let's go back to some more concrete questions. Jason Casper, thank you very much for your very generous help. Thank you for helping, supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. It doesn't happen every day to get as much as you did. And you're very welcome. You say I'm very interested in your nutrition information. However, I feel very, very bad on low carbs. I eat 4 to 500 grams a day. I'm 36. My lipid panel is good. Metabolic markers are good. Fasted insulin and glucose are low. I'm lean and feel great. And is this still unhealthy long term? I get nervous as I get older. Well, 4 to 5 grams of carbs a day, this is a lot. This I have to say that straight away. Your lipid panel is good. I don't know how good that is. I need to see it. Lipid panel is not that relevant. Most relevant is the ratio between triglycerides and HDL. So go and check my video on cholesterol, in which I explain in detail what you should be looking at. Your fasting insulin is good. If it's low, it should be under 2. Mine is under 1. I would honestly prefer to see you not necessarily lower, because you're already on 4 to 500 grams a day, which I found too much. I would rather see you on 250 to 200 for now, and then eventually lower than that long term, because you are 36. You are right now on the border when most of people start getting insulin resistant slowly, because naturally we lose that insulin sensitivity when we age. So I don't like you to start changing this ratio of macronutrients in your diet because you have to. As I mentioned in the beginning, it's better when you want to rather than when you have to. So in order to keep your insulin sensitivity high, I think you should start thinking of reducing these carbohydrates, because the receptors on your muscle cells, insulin receptors, are not going to be always very, very sensitive. As we age, insulin sensitivity goes down. We have less insulin sensitivity. And this is my honest advice. I don't eat any carbs. So what else do you want me to say to you? 500 grams of carbs. I don't know if I ever ate 500 grams of carb. This is huge. This is probably going to be 700 of dry rice per day. Rice is 70% carbs. So when you cook 700 grams of rice, there must be a full bucket of rice. Yeah, you are maybe doing fantastic right now, but I don't know what is going to happen later. I would check your triglycerides and also check your HDL, and then watch my video on cholesterol. You will find what is the best ratio, and keep an eye on your insulin sensitivity as well. At the moment, you're doing fantastic. There are people who can eat a lot of carbs and still stay lean. Maybe you're one of them. but I'm a bit doubtful that that will be like this for good. So my advice, keep an eye on everything and maybe start slowly lowering this. Maybe cut down 20-25% and slowly over 1, 2, 3 go down to 100 grams of carbs. That will be much safer zone for you to be. Mogul Production, thank you very much for your support as well. I really appreciate that. And you are saying I've bought 3 books from your website, but didn't see detailed guidance on warm-up or mobility. Do you not recommend a specific warm-up and additional mobility or stretching work, especially with a sedentary office job? So if you didn't see it, it's obviously not important. Why didn't I speak about it? It's implicit that before you do anything, you should do some warm-up. This is not something that I need to talk about because this is not really that important. When it comes to mobility, there is a lot of confusion about that mobility. What is mobility? Mobility work. I mean, what do you do in your life? What do you need mobility for? You know, people are doing yoga, for example, and then they can sit down and they can put the leg behind the neck and then 2 legs behind the neck and do all kind of crazy positions because they have a mobility. What for? Imagine humans throughout evolution. What kind of mobility did we do for hundreds of thousands of years in order to survive? Did we do yoga? Did we do some special exercises in which we're twisting our hips and upper body? And no, we didn't, because we don't need that necessary crazy ability. If you are a gymnast, you will need that mobility. But if you are like most of us, somebody who maybe walks in the morning and then climbs the stairs and then sits down and stands up and go to the gym and do loads of mobility work, because every single exercise is a fantastic mobility work, then I don't think what else is mobility for what. All right. When it comes to warm up, imagine again, let's think, as I said, comprehensive thinking. Okay, let's think nature. Think in nature. Gazelle drinks water in the pond, right? And the lion is approaching gazelle and it starts running towards her. What gazelle does? Says to him, wait, let me warm up first. Let me do a bit of stretching. Give me 1 minute. Give me a bit of mobility. And then I'm going to run for my life. A lion says, yes, you're right. Let me stretch as well. Let me do a little bit of mobility work. And then they stretch next to the pond. And the gazelle says, now let's run. That's the story of warm-up. You don't need any warm-up. It's psychological. If you need, do a bit of whatever, a little bit of squats maybe, hip stretches. I do it as well. Stretch your lower back, your hamstrings. I do a bit of that as well. I talk about it in my bodybuilding course. Before I start doing chest, I do some simple shoulder rotation movements, both sides, stretch my waist a little bit. Do I have to do it? Not at all. Not at all, because warm-up doesn't exist. Once you start doing your set properly, you will warm up. You can do 1 set or 2 sets with a bit lighter weights, and that will probably be the best warm-up you can do for that particular muscle, for that particular exercise. But when people go, I'm going on treadmill to warm up. But this is the same as saying, okay, I'm going to go to microwave for 10 minutes to warm up. What are you going to warm up? Oh, my body core temperature. For what? For what? For bench press? For squats? You don't need to do that. It's absolute nonsense. But it's sold. You know, people, I see a lot of so-called personal trainers. They are everywhere, like mushrooms now popping out. They know everything. 2 months course, that's it, done. Now you have an expert. So what they do, they need to see a client for 45, 50 minutes. Of course, they're going to spend 15 minutes stretching them. And then 20 minutes, some nonsense exercises. And then they're finishing on with cool down stretching again. And they do it, I see it every day. And you should see their clients. They are all out of shape and they never change. Again, because they do not understand basics of physiology, basics of anatomy. So this is my answer to you. If you want to do it, if it makes you feel better, If you need 10 minutes on treadmill in order to think about your training, to psych yourself up, so fine, do it. Is it going to be beneficial? No. Can it damage your workout? Yes. Stretching, for example, cold muscle has been shown to damage, to injure people, especially track athletes. So they stopped doing that. They were doing it hysterically in the past because their coaches knew that that is important. And then they realized actually they're getting injured because of that. So now they stopped doing it. Again, we are talking reality. We are talking facts, truths. So truth can only be proven in praxis. And that's it. Tila Zakos, again, thank you very much for your help. And I appreciate your super sticker, super chat. Thank you very much for your videos. Being a medical doctor, clinical pathologist, I still learn a lot from them every time. Greetings from Stockholm, Attila. Thank you very much. Maybe you should give us some advice. I would like to discuss things with professionals in the field of medical science as well. But if you still learn from my videos, I'm really happy. As I said, I try to help people think critically, analytically, and also comprehensively, especially when it comes to fitness, because fitness right now, globally, is absolute Wild West. Fitness professionals are people who get some knowledge during the period of 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months max, and they become recognized fitness professionals. And if you see where they're learning their knowledge from, I went 25 years ago as well because I had to, for advanced personal training course, and for 1 week, and that was an absolute nonsense. I just went there because I needed it because I went to the gym, which required the insurance, and for that you need to be qualified. So although I had some courses done in the past, signed by Joe Wader himself anyway, they didn't recognize that in UK, so I had to do another cowboy course, and that was absolute nonsense. So I don't know what else to say, what else to do. I'm doing my videos, I'm writing books, doing live chats, as you see, trying to offer you as much knowledge as possible. And I hope more people come through and more people get my advice on board, because this is all for your benefits on the first place. So thank you very much for your help, and I really appreciate your participation as a doctor, clinical pathologist. All right, let me check some other videos. Sorry, questions. I fast from 11:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. and do gym around 9:30. Should I have a shake or anything you recommend, or continue to eat my first meal as I'm doing? Thank you in advance. So you fast from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. Fine, and the gym around 9:30. So you are training while fasted. That's fine. I don't have any problem with that. Make sure that you take enough water and electrolytes. That's very important. And also, yes, if you're in the gym 9:30, you finish 10:30, let's say, roughly, then you eat at 12. That's fine. You don't need anything during, before, or anything like that. Then you have 12 hours of eating, and you will be perfectly fine. There is no problem with that at all. Okay. Let me see what else is there. I'm following your diet recommendation for 3 months now. When do I know when to eat more food, steak and eggs every day? Steak and eggs every day is fine. You can also add different sources of protein, maybe fish, sardines, mackerel, wild salmon. That would be great. And when do you need to eat more food? I mean, if you are doing everything right, you don't need to change anything, because your muscles are not going to change if you eat more. They will change if you train better, if you apply more mechanical tension, if your sets a right time under tension, and also if you're doing um, overload principle, as I have explained in my video, which is focusing particularly on overload and how to do it right. So if you do that correctly, you just need to eat as you eat. You don't need to eat more. I don't know how much do you eat. I don't know what your body weight is, what kind of shape you are. If you're lean, if you can see your six-pack, if you're full of energy, then you're eating right. If you're not lean, if you're fat, then you're eating too much. If you're really losing muscle and, constantly tired, exhausted, then you're not eating enough. So you need to follow, and you need to obviously consider your current shape and changes, eventual changes, and then decide if you eat more or not. But there is no need to change anything if you do everything right. Just focus on your workout and everything will get up. You will start building more muscle. Not because you're eating more, but because you're training better and you're applying a right overload principle, not a cowboy one, which I have explained in my video on that particular subject. Can you explain for those of us on hormones, how would you run a proper TRT protocol? Thanks. Well, the TRT is obviously for people who, most of the people over 40 should check their testosterone. And if that testosterone is somewhere in the mid-range or low, you should consider taking a TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. There is nothing wrong about that. It is actually good for you. If your testosterone is lower, why not? And general advice is about 200 milligrams of testosterone, let's say testosterone cypionate, once a week. Or maybe there is some advice, some research shown twice per week, 100 milligrams of testosterone cypionate. But this is obviously individual. Some people go up, maybe 250 once a week. Is just, again, something that is very difficult to prescribe, because there is no one size fits all, as always has been done in medical science. So everybody is different, and for that reason, you need to consider different approaches. But I would not say more than 250. You shouldn't consider 250 milligrams of testosterone cypionate. It comes out to be the best. N88 is also good, but cypionate for some reason is the best choice for most people. Thank you very much for your priceless experience to all of us. Thank you very much for that. You're welcome. Kevin Richardson, natural bodybuilder, 30 plus, advocates high fiber, low fat, reasonable protein, 140 grams, and high carbohydrates. Maintain lean physique year round. 1,000 clients too. Great. Then listen to Kevin Richardson, and I wish you all the best. This is all I can say. So you need to choose your gods. You need to choose who you're going to listen to, and give it a go. Who knows? You may even get better. So, yeah, I wish you all the best. Okay, guys, we're going to do another 5 minutes. Thank you for the stream. Yeah, you're welcome. Training well fasted and taking electrolytes in the morning when I wake up. Yes, you can train when you're fasted. There is no problem with that. It's actually very good because every time you eat, your body focuses on digestion. So a lot of blood goes into your digestive system instead of going into the muscles. This is why I don't understand why some people eat immediately before their workouts. Obviously, again, absolute lack of knowledge when it comes to physiology and anatomy, especially digestion, absorption, and hormones as well, hormone manipulation. So you don't need any food in your body when you're training, because you don't need any food. You need glycogen, and that glycogen, let's say in your chest, has been stored a week ago when you did your previous chest session. So the body was already the same day, next day, probably restored all the necessary glycogen in your chest. So you don't need to eat anything before your workout because you don't depend on that food. So all these stories about pre-workout carbohydrates, intra-workout, I mean, what a nonsense. Your body just doesn't use that. You need glycogen. You can't even use anything from your blood. Glycogen is the main source of energy when you're performing bodybuilding workout. So it's, yes, absolutely fine. I did it when I was competing. I was training on an empty stomach. I did it so many times. I competed um, over 12 years, and I always did it, and I was performing fantastic. There is absolutely no need to eat anything. So training on your empty stomach, yes, drink water. You can have coffee before, maybe 30 to 60 minutes. Coffee helps you produce more cortisol, awakes you in a way, and also helps you burn more body fat. When I mentioned coffee, let me remind you, on Wednesday, my new video on coffee will be live. So I talk about coffee, what is good about coffee, what is bad. Should you drink? Shouldn't you drink? How much should you drink? What is good in coffee? What good coffee does to you? Or is coffee bad for you? So again, if you want right information, you will get it on Wednesday when I talk about coffee in my new video. How many calories over maintenance should I eat per day for muscle growth without fat gain? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Maybe you ask that guy who is training people with high carbohydrates and fibers. Maybe he will tell you that. But I'm telling you, nobody knows, because who knows how many calories do you need? First of all, nobody knows what is your basal metabolic rate, which means how much calories do you need for the body just to survive. There are lots of softwares and formulas that will help you exactly find out how many calories do you need. But how many calories do you need? Who knows that? Oh, just enter your gender, age, body weight, and this is your BMR. Really? What about my hormonal state? What about my insulin sensitivity? What about my digestion? What about my absorption? What about all these things and much, much more, which are all directly related to biochemistry? Oh, well, it's genetics. Is as in science, what they say, 10 million years ago. Thank you for that answer. Yeah, thank you for that answer. They never ask you that because it's absolute nonsense. Because you need to know all these things in order to know how many calories do you need per day to survive, and then how many calories you need extra on top of that because you work out. So nobody knows that. And I have the video, which is called Calories Lie, and why calories lie to you. So watch the video, and I explained in that video everything you need to know about calories. But my short advice is stop thinking about calories, focus on macronutrients and their ratio, because calorie doesn't tell you anything about the quality of the macronutrient. It tells you only about energetic value of 1 gram of carbohydrates, fat, and protein, and that's it. And this is completely irrelevant for us. I'll just answer another question because there is another super sticker. Thank you very much, Rami, for your support. Many carnivore dieters claim to eat at high over their maintenance while getting and staying low body fat. Have you tried this yourself? No. No, many carnivore dieters talk nonsense again because they don't know what they're talking about. You can get fat if you eat too much protein and too much fat. You're going to get fat. So when I put people on, let's say, 300 grams of protein, I put them on 150 grams of fat. Usually, from my experience and my knowledge, amount of fat is the best works if it's half of the amount of protein. So sometimes people get results on that. Sometimes they need to reduce something, so we reduce protein maybe to 250. If they change, fine, we stay there. If they don't change, we can reduce protein to 200. If they don't change, then we reduce fat to 100. So this is very fluid, and it depends on individual, and how much you need to eat depends on you. So whatever you do, you have to have a starting point. You have to have a point of reference. So when you start with a certain diet, you can't just eat blindly. You need to know how many protein do you eat and how much fat do you eat. And then you start from there and see, is your workout fine? Are you energetic? Can you perform? Are you strong? Can you do your reps and sets? Excellent. Are you in good shape? Oh, I'm getting great. Fantastic. Don't change anything. Well, I'm tired. I'm not recovering. I'm not energetic. Well, you don't eat enough. So you need to up either your protein or your fat. That is, again, individual. If you're getting fat, then you're obviously eating too much. There are a lot of people who came to me. I have clients. I have people who have joined this 90 days transformation challenge that we started from today, from March. And a lot of them are on carnivore diet. And a lot of them are very, very much out of shape. And they are asking, how is this possible? When I analyzed their diet, obviously there was too much fat. So what can I say? Again, you need to choose who are you going to listen to and whose advice you're going to take on board. But the best advice will give you results. And if you don't have results, obviously that advice wasn't very good enough. So I hope if you follow my advice that you will get good results. Yiva, thank you very much for your support. This is going to be the last answer today. And you ask, have you ever tried MCT oil or caprylic acid? What do you think about the importance of ketones to improve insulin sensitivity? Well, I tried MCT oil when it came out. So I tried everything. So when creatine came out, the first week, I tried it. MCT oil, I tried it as well. But there is no magic in that. So again, think nature. Where is MCT oil? Where did Arnold have MCT oil? Sergio Oliva? Serge Nubre on MCT oil? No. So you're getting all these synthetic products, all these revolutionary discoveries. Just take your money out of your pocket, because ketones are very good for you, and ketones are actually the most preferable source of energy for the brain, not glucose. They're ketones. And this is why when people go on so-called ketogenic diet, which I would like to call, is not really ketogenic. Most people never went on ketogenic diet. They're all on gluconeogenic diet, meaning high protein, medium fat. So ketogenic diet is 70% fat, 30% protein. So you eat 200 grams of fat a day, and then maybe 100 grams of protein or less. That would be ketogenic diet. But there is simply not enough protein for you to build muscles if you're on 100 grams of protein. So you need more. You need 2, 3, maybe 400 grams of protein. And that obviously will reduce amount of fat. So the diet will turn from ketogenic into gluconeogenic. Again, nobody talks about that. I don't know why, but this is obvious, is clear as day. daylight. So yes, ketones are important. And when people go on this low carb, high protein, medium fat diet, they immediately react. They come to me and say, you know what? I just see everything clearer now. I'm so awake. I'm so up for everything. And this is simply the main reason for that is that finally the brain is getting the most preferable source of energy, and these are ketones. So yes, they are very good for you. Nothing wrong with ketones. Being in ketosis is good. People always misinterpret ketosis with ketoacidosis, which is something completely different. But they are quite good for you. Guys, thank you very much again for everybody who has helped, supported the channel with your super stickers and super chats, and all of you who participated tonight and asked your questions. I hope you've got some decent answers and that you can implement them and benefit from them. And once again, for all of you who are interested in getting in touch and maybe having maybe working with me one-to-one, you can visit my website, nashfreetraining.com, and check all the services there, because there are many different ways in which I can help you working with you together one-to-one. And the services that can benefit you are obviously personalized training programs, personalized nutritional programs, telephone consultations, online coaching. Still, some people, if you want to join, I'm still accepting for a few more days people for this 90 days transformation challenge. So there are a lot of ways that we can work one-to-one. If you're up for it, simply go to my website and choose the product, get in touch, and I'll be more than happy to help you finally start building muscles and losing body fat and help you to get in the best shape ever. So until the next live chat, which I will try to do in a couple of weeks, I wish you all the best. And once again, thank you very much for everybody who have participated tonight. And again, to everybody who has supported the channel with their super stickers and super chats. Thank you very much again.